good people? What is going on? Welcome to another episode of Just a Fan Podcast. Just a couple of football fans that happen to know a lot about football. Now, as you already know, I'm Tristan, the guy with the gift and the gab. Okay, over to my, I always get these directions. Over to my right, as y'all looking at it, is the man and myth and legend again, once we call him Steve White. What's going on, Steve? It's good to see you back, man.
What's happening? Thank you, man. Thank you. Happy holidays, guys. Good to see you guys again.
I'm glad to see you, big dog.
Damn.
All right, and then just below me right here is the NFL encyclopedia. Like, whatever you don't know, like, you ask this guy. Brandon, what's going on?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Four Horsemen is back. Yeah, boy.
And then, of course, I got to do last but definitely not least. I got to put up my man, Mr. Pandemonium himself.
Pando.
Eric, right. Eric, what's going on, big dog?
Man, I can't call it, man. I can't call it. I'm happy to be here. I'm glad the whole crew is back together. You know, the holidays was rough. People had stuff to do, and we trying to get this thing back together, man.
For sure. Before we get started, I want to make sure somebody notifications pop up. I want to make sure we all good and clear before we get started with all these
I
picks.
think that's me.
Are you the culprit, Eric?
Yeah, because I sent some invites out for those of you who are watching. Thank you, and I think people are like, I think every time I get there's a comment here, I get like a ping on my other computer right here.
I got you. So that's what's going on. So listen, if when you're not aware, okay, we started off with, it was just the three of us. Okay, that's how we started. All right, and then Eric is someone that we have on our chat a whole lot, and he covers a lot of bases for us and what we talk about and things like that. So after a while, and somebody already up here talking. Already talking. So we was like, well, Eric did so good as a guest. We got to keep bringing Eric on here, man. So we said for the new year, we're just going to add him on. You already see people saying you got Eric on here permanently.
Yes, Sydney. I'm here, Sydney, yes.
Black football Jesus, Lord have mercy.
So, I mean, so you already know this is going to be a fun time with all four of us here. Eric, we're glad that you have decided to stick with us and rock out with us on this thing for sure, man. We're not going to waste any time, man. We're going to get started. We're going to talk about week 17? Man, I'm not used to saying week 18. Good Lord. 17. So week 17, that normally is the end, but we still got another week of football to go. In the regular season at least. So we're going to talk about week 17. Anybody want to start off? Let me get this list that we have put together here out the way, so we can start off with one of the more important games, man. And I know we talked about it yesterday. I know we weren't going to touch up on too much about the Steelers and the Browns and stuff, but I do want to go over just a little tidbit in regards to them. But we don't have to do that in the beginning. I think what we all have to do, for sure, though, I think we got to talk about AB. Let's just do it. Let's just do it and get it out the way.
It's gonna be interesting.
Let's just do it and get it out the way now. But we got to talk about Antonio Brown and.
Let me go first, please, Cam. Please.
Hey, listen, the floor is yours, brother.
All right. So first thing first. Before I start, I just want to say that mental illness is a real thing.
Yes.
And that's something that we kind of, us being 4 African American men in our community, it kind of gets glazed over, and people kind of just don't really pay attention to it.
Yes.
And ain't nothing wrong with you. You just acting stupid, and you have to really, we joke about it, but you have to really look at it. I really, in my heart of hearts, think and Antonio has some issues, man, that he needs to sit down with somebody. Now, that being said,
yeah, go ahead, speak your truth.
So we, once we got down to the bottom of what was going on, the brother needs help because he basically screwed himself out of $1 million.
Yes.
Because these next 2 weeks, he had three different categories where he could have earned $330K.
Say that one more time for the people in the back.
He could have earned $330K in three separate categories, basically $1 million. He screwed himself out of $1 million. If he was only like a few catches away from hitting that bonus for catches. He was only one touchdown away from getting his other bonus, and I think he was 55 yards away, yardage-wise, from getting the other 330K. So all told, he could have done that in that game. That's the doggone Jets. Come on, man, it's the Jets. Even though they play really strong, that's the Jets. He could have got that in that game. He could have got his bonus in that game. Now, I understand he said that he was hurt. His ankle was bothering him. Okay, cool. That's no problem with that. And you say you can't go. Hey, coach, I can't go. What I got a problem with is look how he running out of it. Look at that. That looks like somebody with a hurt ankle to you.
He ran a route. He
doing jumping jacks in the end zone while the game going on. Then he runs out of the stadium. Now it's different if you just sit there like, hey, coach want me to go. I can't go. I'm not healthy. Then we can kind of defend you on that, Tonio. But when you say I was hurt and they wanted me to go in and I wasn't 100 and I wasn't really ready to go, and you doing jumping jacks and hyping up New York's crowd, by the way.
Yeah.
And you run out of the stadium like, bro, we can't defend that, bro. So first thing first, you need to sit down with some people to help you. Second of all, you need to go ahead and fill out some applications because, in my opinion, I think his NFL career is done. He's had too many incidents at this particular point where he's damaged goods. So that's my spill on it. Gentlemen, you had a floor.
I had to think about this. I said, okay. My first thought was, okay, he's tripping, he's acting out. And I was like, oh, the money. I said, oh, man, they were trying to pay him. But then I said, wait a minute. I said, if he was hurt, we all know he's a good liar. We know he's a good liar. I'm like, why wouldn't he limp out on the field if he wasn't prepared to play and make them take him out? It wasn't about the money. I really want to know what it really was about because, number one, if he wanted this incentive so bad, I don't think he would lie about the vaccination card, in my personal opinion. But for the fact that you're saying that the coaches wanted to force you to play while you're hurt, and you said you couldn't go, and then they said, well, you're not on the team. I can't believe that, man. And then he seemed very healthy, like you said, Eric, running off the field, doing jumping jacks, skipping. He looked fine. So I don't know what his deal is, man. I hope he gets better. Hope he gets help. Wishing the best, man. But I think this might be it for him. No, you know what? No, because some team will take a chance on him next year. I believe that.
Somebody really desperate.
He may get one more chance. He may be in Detroit somewhere, but he may get one more chance.
And in the climate, and not to cut you off, but in the climate that we have in this NFL with injuries just popping up everywhere, that will be his only way in my opinion. Like, it would take like a team that get decimated by injuries at the receiver position. It's like, man, we trying to make a push. These guys going to be out for 3-4 weeks. We need somebody to kind of fill the void until we get our guys back. I could see that. Somebody who's really desperate, don't have no scruples, and just like, look, let's go. Let's call Antonio up. Yeah.
Brandon?
Okay, interesting. So, you know what? Before I found out some stuff over the last couple of hours, I'm not gonna say I'm not on your side of what y'all said. However, from what I'm hearing is let me start over. One, Antonio Brown has yet to be released, despite what Bruce Arians said on Sunday. He has yet to hit the waiver wire. However,
that's going to happen. I think that's a foregone conclusion.
Well, we'll see what happens. However, Josina Anderson is reporting that once Antonio Brown's released, there are some playoff teams who are looking at him. She did not reveal any teams. Okay, so that's going to be so to me that's interesting thing number one. There's a guy with a Twitter handle, Pro Football Doc, who says that he was watching him run some routes and jumping up and down. Yeah, he was doing all that, but he still looked like he's favoring his ankle. Also, I found that his friends want him to go see ankle surgeon outside of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization. So I'm not saying he's right. I'm not saying he's wrong. And now he's wrong the way he acted, but I'm interested in seeing how the story further develops between him and the Buccaneers.
I feel that. And just for me to put my little 2 cents in it, here's my thing about it in regards to it. So I'm looking at it as you not only acted a fool, and I'm so glad that Eric phrased it the way he did about mental health in the beginning, because I want people that are watching, I want people to understand, people that are going to be listening on the podcast, I want people to understand that mental health is truly something that we take seriously. It's something, just like Eric said, especially among black men, that we do not hone in on so deeply. We always hear about black women that are, going to therapy and they're active in trying to take care of their mental health. And black men, we kind of mask it, especially when you're in such a an alpha-like atmosphere, such as playing, professional sports in general, not even just football, but just in professional sports in general. It's such an alpha dog mentality that you're not really supposed to show any kind of weakness. And unfortunately, we treat it like weakness. Now, with that being said, someone said something on Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor had a session on Twitter last night where she was allowing people to, chime in for questions and things like that. And someone said something interesting. They said, because they were saying the same thing in regards to mental health. And somebody said the same question was like, when are we going to treat mental health? When are we going to differentiate someone that's dealing with mental health and then someone that's just acting a fool? And that's really where, for me, that's where I kind of see Antonio Brown. I'm not looking at it as, I'm sure he has some things that he needs to work out. I'm sure that it wouldn't hurt him to see a therapist. It wouldn't hurt him to to get some help and all that and in that aspect. But I feel like there are moments where you're looking at it and you're just like, man, you're just acting out. Like you're just being a bit of a devo. You're just being a bit of a brat. And you're taking advantage because of the fact that you're AB. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't help that you had arguably the greatest quarterback of all time basically vouching for you. So that didn't help at all in that aspect. But I'm just like, we can't keep looking at it and saying, oh, it's mental health. At some point, we got to look at it and say, no, that's just AB acting a fool. That's just AB acting up. And let me say this, because this was something that was irritating me last night on Twitter when it was going on. Do not compare AB's issues with Josh Gordon or with Terrell Owens. That is not, you're not even remotely in the ballpark.
Not even close.
You're not even remotely in the ballpark. First of all, Josh Gordon literally has issues that you can sympathize. He literally is an addict. That's something that we like. You know how addicts are. Everybody's seen it, whether it's been personally you've experienced it or you've read about it, whatever. You know how it is when people have an addiction to anything, drugs, alcohol, whatever. You know what that looks like. You know that's not an easy road to come back from. That's why I sympathize with Josh Gordon. And when you listen to Josh Gordon talk, Josh Gordon doesn't speak with such an arrogance or any kind of ignorant way. He literally sounds like a guy that really just wants help and is just trying to figure out how to navigate it. And Terrell Owens, I'm so tired of people really, every time a diva comes into the league as a wide receiver, the first person they think of is Terrell Owens. Let's make this very clear. Terrell Owens might have demanded what he demanded from his quarterbacks, from his coaches, and what have you, okay? He might have rubbed people the wrong way. But when it came time to play the football game, you're not asking for a better football player to show up for your team. You ain't asking, when you need your superstar to be a superstar, you tell me a game, you tell me a play that Terrell Owens did not live up to the billing. Okay? You talking about that guy has never been arrested. You never had to worry about him being out of shape. You never had to worry about him missing camp. This guy literally played on one leg in the Super Bowl, and had Donovan not choked, you probably be looking at Terrell Owens being the Super Bowl MVP of that game. So let's really cut that noise with Terrell Owens and give Terrell Owens his respect that is just due. Okay, y'all already did him a disservice by not granting him a first ballot selection in the Hall of Fame. Y'all already did that. Let's not keep trying to throw dirt on this man's name, because when it came and going in between them lines, when that whistle blew, you couldn't ask for a better player on your football team to give you what you needed to get.
I mean, it's just like when we talk about when we were in the group earlier today, talking about whether you like a person's attitude or not. That's irrelevant. This is business. Are you producing? Are you doing your job? You know, and at this point, you know, when we start talking about somebody like Terrell Owens, you know, it's not even a comparison. The man did his job. Period. It don't matter if you didn't like his attitude. You know.
Period.
And now we talk about Terrell Owens, and then going back talking about Josh Gordon, and then now the Antonio Brown situation. You're right; those are not night and day and midday. I mean, it's just like they're completely different situations. And anybody, and I'm gonna just go step out on a limb like that. They just an ignorant wretch if you thinking it's the same thing. If you sit up here thinking that the Antonio Brown situation is just like Terrell Owens or Josh Gordon situation, man, you just ignorant. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So Antonio Brown has a history of getting himself in trouble, man, and it comes down to accountability. You look at the stuff last year with not paying his painter, then his physical therapist or whatever, and then the COVID card, and then Oakland, and then that's like, this is a pattern. He is the problem.
Yes.
He's acting a fool, and he's blaming the media. Dude, he said something like, the media writes whatever they want. No, they're writing what you're giving them to write. You're writing the story for them. They're just reporting it. You're doing everything on your own.
Exactly.
And he's not accountable, man. And he's been in the league too long, way too long, to act this way. Way too long, man. And he's earned his legacy. So.
All right. So let's move on. What's next?
Yeah, we could definitely move on from that. If I never see AB again, it'll be too soon in the NFL. So moving on for people that actually want to play football. We're gonna go ahead and talk about. I definitely want to go over this game. We got to talk about the Cowboys and the Cardinals. Let's talk about that, Eric. I see that smile, Eric. Let's talk about it. We got two Cowboys fans on here, but they are unbiased. They are unbiased. We give them credit on that. We give them credit. So
I'm gonna start. I'm gonna keep it real short and sweet. And me and Brandon watched the game together.
Go ahead, man.
Back home in the area, and I've been saying it for over a month. It's all on Dak. Now, this what bothers me about my team.
Okay.
My head coach pops up in these press conferences. Oh, the refs. So then the players. Oh, well, the refs just played. If the refs is that, listen, the refs have nothing to do with you not being able to throw first downs, Dak Prescott. With Zeke getting 1.8 yards to carry, that's the refs' fault. They're tackling you too. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, and the problem is like with Dallas, like our defense has been playing pretty well, so we'll squander drives, rely on them to get us the ball back on short fields, and then kick a field goal, throw some short passes here and there. But when it comes down to the offense actually producing, he hasn't gotten it done since before his injury. He hasn't.
That's true.
And so when it's comeback time, we get a penalty. Oh, it's all the refs' fault. It could be a bad call. It could be a bad call. It's fine. But what about the first three quarters? So accountability, like McCarthy had 0. So the locker room is kind of not taking it upon themselves to be accountable. And it's sad, man. It's disappointing. I put it on Dak in that offense and Mike McCarthy completely.
You can't just, you can't just put it on just you're right now, because the offense has been kind of subpar as of late. But I want to also point out how the defense kind of got exposed, especially that back end. Now you got a certified stud in Trayvon Diggs, but the rest of that secondary, they kind of game recognized game, and they looking kind of unfamiliar.
Yeah, but I mean, big plays happen all the time, right? So the secondary, yeah, I know we need to improve big time. And I wish Randy Gregory would keep containment more as a defensive end. You stay to the outside. If someone comes inside, that's not on you. Contain means no matter what, you never let anyone get outside of you. I don't know what he wanted to do. I don't know if he was emotional for whatever reason. He wasn't keeping containment. Let's look at this play. Look at that.
Oh,
oh, who's that? That's not Brown, is it?
You know who it is.
You know that's Brown.
You know.
Anthony, I don't like to turn my head brown. You know who that is.
That is the Shriners burn unit victim of the week.
Listen, I saw a stat. It said the Cowboys have only allowed 3 touchdowns.
I don't even know who Wesley is.
To where the defender wasn't 3 yards away from them. So pretty much every passing touchdown, they have a 3-yard cushion on whoever.
The stitching on his jersey is new. I
don't know who he is.
They made his jersey today.
I mean, you get mauled stoned by AJ Green. It's, hey man, that's AJ Green. You know, right. You know, but hey man, who is Wesley? Like
85 Wesley.
That sounds like somebody's butler, Wesley. I would like a spot of cheese. Hey man, that's bad, bro. That's bad. But I was saying that Dallas is gonna have a hubris game. Because let me go ahead and say this. I picked Dallas to win this game. I picked Dallas to win this game.
I didn't.
And I was like, because Arizona's on a low.
On the low, right. They've
been on a skid.
Yeah.
You know, Dallas on the winning boys and hold up, you know. And I'm just like, okay, they gonna beat the Cardinals. That ain't gonna be no problem.
Well, you're different because you know the schedule came out last spring. I said, okay, you count. Okay, who can we win against? Who can we lose against? And they were one of the losses on my schedule. The sad part is, the good thing is first, I'm glad we played them when we did because we might see them first round in the playoffs. So hopefully we would improve. I don't know, but the way we performed that game. Past few games, man, I don't know what the offense is going to come out with.
And here's the thing. It's the truth, but it's the ugly truth, but it's the truth. Dallas does not have a quality win to hang their hat on this season. They've been beating the hell out of like the pre-Primble Pop Warner teams, and they've been skull dragging them, which is what you're supposed to do. Now, don't get me wrong. You're supposed to do that. If you play a sorry team, you're supposed to beat the brakes off of them. But Dallas has also had losses against teams they should be skull dragging. And then when you put that up there, and it's going to be said, you're going to hear it on First Take, you're going to hear it on Shannon and Skip. Hey, man, Dallas ain't beat a team, a high-quality playoff caliber team. They have not. And that's the narrative right now. And it's like you can't escape that narrative. And the only thing, there's Dallas fans like, the rabid Dallas fans like, it don't matter. Yes, it does. It matters. Because when you get into the playoffs, all you going to see is those type of teams because they earn the right to beat them. So it's like, bro, the exposure's coming pretty soon, Yeah. You're like, if you got to go out there to Green Bay, which you will if you get that far, good Lord. And now with Aaron Rodgers starting to get chemistry with his other receivers besides Devontae Adams, it's scary. And let's be real, Tampa Bay, Tom Brady don't need a name brand receiver to win a Super Bowl. He's proven that. The four of us could go play receiver for Tom Brady and win a Super Bowl with him throwing the ball. He's done that in New England. Like who? I don't even remember some of his receivers.
Right.
Okay, so the Buccaneers are still a fool. Most of their doggone secondary is coming back from off an injury, so their defense is going to be better. So you dealing with that. Michael Gallup just tore his ACL. So, it's like you're down a receiver where you would have 4 really good ones. Now you're down to 3.
And he's a beast too, man. Dang, that hurt.
Yeah. So it's like Michael Gallup was Mr. Third Down pretty much for you guys. On a lot of plays. Like, oh, they're not gonna convert this thing. Michael Gallup caught that. But so when you run, you're gonna run into that buzzsaw in the NFC playoffs, and like, I give you the first round. You probably get past the first round.
But it's really, and Brandon's been quiet, so I'm gonna ask him something in a second.
Yeah, I feel like Brandon about to explode.
but it's really competency. Like, if Tony Pollard's averaging 3 yards more per carry than Zeke, why is Zeke still getting the ball more? That doesn't make sense to me.
Money. They paying Zeke that. Remember we talked about that before. They're paying Zeke this money. It don't make sense in their minds to pay him that much money and not give him the carries to earn.
No, I get that because I mean other teams have that issue.
We all know that
he needs to get the ball more.
At this point in his career and Zeke's point in his career, Tony Pollard's a better back.
Absolutely, he needs the ball more than Zeke. I don't care. He needs the ball more, but clearly it ain't gonna happen. All right, go ahead, Brandon.
All right, so I got a problem with some stuff. One, I got a problem with Dak Prescott having more rushing yards than our running backs. I will agree about Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott because I'm looking at Zeke's numbers from the game: 9 and 16, averaging 1.8 yards a carry, and Tony Pollard 3 for 9, 3 yards a carry. I'm not saying 3 yards a carry is great, but compared to 1.8 yards a carry, that's a huge difference. CeeDee Lamb only had 4 targets. Why does Cooper only have 3 catches? Like, I think is some of I think is also on Kellen Moore. I think Kellen Moore might be Scott Linehan 2.0. And
I can see because some folks weren't even open, but regardless, Dak has so much time in the pocket, man.
You're right.
He has so much time in the pocket, man, and he's been missing. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brandon.
That's why you mad.
I get what you're saying, Steve. I get what you're saying, but I feel like Kellen Moore is not using his best weapons for some reason. He needs to use Tony Moore. He needs to find ways to get Coop and CeeDee Lamb open. You have a first round. You got to use a first round pick on CeeDee Lamb. You traded a first round pick for Coop, and like we all said, Tony Pollard is a better running back right now this year than what Zeke is. Zeke is only good for pass blocking. To me, he's an undersized. Matter of fact, he's an undersized fullback. So,
that's a fair assessment. That's a fair assessment.
The best throw today was from Cedric Wilson.
Cedric Wilson, man.
The best throw
1 for 1 for 31 yards.
Cedric Wilson, man.
To a wide open target.
Man, hey, listen. Here's my little thing with it. See, this is the thing, and Eric's talked about it numerous times. Not you guys, other Cowboy fans. They get in this position where they do a string of games, and then they get this thing where it's like, okay, we here, we arrived, we this, we that, and it's like you guys don't put things in context. When you look at the records of the teams that y'all have beaten soundly. It's not anything to like there isn't too many wins that you really can hang your hat on and be like, yo, Dallas did that against that quality of a team. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think for me, it's like Dak is who he is. And I think Cowboys Nation, I think Jerry Jones was onto something with Dak, with delaying getting his money. Now he deserved his money. You do what you do. You do what you do. The market is what the market is. You got to give him his money. But I think Jerry was onto something when it came to Dak and paying him, because Dak needs things to be well around him. He's not a person that you're going to
years ago
carry the football team. Like, when in doubt, it's like, we got Dak Prescott, we're going to be good. Yes, you guys would be worse without Dak Prescott, but if you switch him and Aaron Rodgers, it's going to look mightily different with that offensive, weapons around. You know what I'm saying? If you put Patrick Mahomes, it looks different. And I think what we have to understand is that Dak Prescott is good, but he ain't up in that tier. And we always say there's levels to this. So he's good, but he ain't Aaron Rodgers. He ain't Tom Brady. He ain't in that realm. And I think people keep trying to put him up there because he's the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. But he has his limitations, and it shows.
I'm not to break in, but I'm looking at one of the chats. One of our buddies on here, Kevin Cherry, says, "I don't think Dallas coaches really know how to use their players effectively and efficiently."
Kellen Moore, Scott Linehan 2.0. Sorry.
No, you're right. Because when you look at the stats, and I got the stats here on my screen, the running backs ran the ball a combined 12 times in a 60-minute football game.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
I know. I'm a Niners fan. We don't I'm like when we ran, we 20-1 since 2019. I don't mean to change the subject, but since 2019, we're 20-1 when we run the ball more than 30 times.
Oh, guess what, Eric? But the Cowboys, when we run the ball more than we pass, Dak hasn't lost. But for some reason, our coaching staff, but Trish, remember, I said it 3 years ago. I said, let's pay Dak only if we can pay everyone else around him because he needs pieces in place to be successful.
You did say that.
A lot of pieces in place.
You did say that.
And we're seeing it right now. But the thing is, we have pieces. He's just still not playing well.
Yeah.
But let's move on, man. I'm done. I'm done with that.
Scott Linehan 2.0 don't know how to use his weapons.
But that's a common thing with a lot of these coaches. They won't do the obvious. And it's like, okay, we got all these receivers, we want to throw the ball. But do you understand how much the running game opens up your passing game?
So much.
Those receivers open a lot because they're really good. CeeDee Lamb's very good. Amari Cooper's good.
Mm-hmm.
But if you steadily pounding the ball and you forcing that defense to get closer to the line, the next thing you know, it just completely opens up your pass.
But it's an ego thing because every coach, every offensive coordinator across the league, I put money on it. They want that brainchild QB who picks apart defenses with his arm so they can appear to be geniuses. Everyone wants that. Everyone wants that. It's an ego thing. Oh, my QB do for blah, blah, 50 attempts against your defense. Everybody wants that.
They'd rather be cute than to win. I want to win a certain type of way instead of just get the W.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Eric, when you get into the playoffs, you got to be able to run that ball. You got to be able to run the ball. And in cold weather, you go up to Green Bay, you go up to Buffalo, you got to be able to run the ball.
Yeah, for sure. Sure. Let's go ahead and move forward. Let's move on to this next team. I don't know if we want to call it a surprise team. They're not really a surprise in my mind. I just think it just came a little sooner than I thought. And this seems like it's slowly becoming a change of the guard. And the team I'm talking about is the Cincinnati Bengals out there in the AFC North, man. Joe Burrow and the crew, man, it's whoo. I mean, I don't know, I don't know what to say, man. I mean, it's
the GM needs a raise.
I mean, if you want to talk about like being a GM for your squad, man, like he did that when he put that roster together. I mean,
and you know what's frightening? What's frightening is Cincinnati is really gearing up for next year, and this is not their year. They're going into it with the mindset of this is not our year. We're just going to make a little noise this year. We're trying to get respect this year.
Their core is like under 25.
Yes,
all of them.
They are the first team. I think if I want to make sure I read this correctly. They're the first team to have 1,000-yard rusher, 2,000-yard receivers, and a 4,000-yard passer. All of them under 25 years old. Do you understand?
Well, those teams had it anyways. Well, maybe the Rams.
But to be under 25,
right, exactly.
Like they are still football babies, basically. Like,
And the head coach is a baby too, because this is 30 years as head coach.
Right. And it's just like, it's insane to see that kind of ability. Now, as we're watching this play on the screen, I let me be the first to say, okay? Let me be the first to say, I can admit when I was wrong. Okay? I'm a big boy. I can admit when I'm wrong, okay? I'm not always right. And you know what the thing was, I wasn't calling him a bust. I didn't think he was going to be a bust or anything like that. But I was definitely premature on,
what'd you say?
On Jamar and his hands during the preseason. Remember, he was dropping all those passes. And I was just like, man, physical specimen, but I mean, what's up with his hands, man? What's going on? And hey, man, I mean, you looking at the offensive rookie of the year right there. Like he came on.
He should be.
He came on and put a route on the league, man. I mean, he was just like, oh yeah, y'all want to talk about me right now in preseason? Watch this. Listen.
That boy put on a lab coat and put on.
Listen, Jamar Chase, if you somehow listen to this podcast, I apologize.
And you're an
LSU apologize.
You're an LSU guy.
I'm an LSU guy. And I thought, well, maybe that 1 year layoff, you know, because he didn't play. Remember, he didn't play because of COVID. So I'm thinking maybe the 1 year layoff, he kind of like, you know. But man, was I wrong. And I'm happy to be wrong because I love it when I see my LSU guys do well. Man, was I wrong. I'm saying.
We were all saying that Baloo says 1,000 yards against the Ravens.
Hey, listen. Listen, if I'm the Ravens secondary, I'm having nightmares. I'm having PTSD watching number one just fly across my field. I mean, he put on a show.
It's a fire extinguisher and some butter for all the burns.
Listen, he put on a show. And let me say this. With Joe Burrow. I knew Joe Burrow was going to be good. Because I watched him even when he was in Ohio State, even before he transferred to LSU. I thought he should have started over Dwayne Haskins when he was at Ohio State. So I knew Joe Burrow was going to be good. But it might be safe to say that he might be. This is a person that was a number one pick, won the Heisman, won national championship, all these records. He might be a better pro than he was a college player. That is frightening. He might be a better pro quarterback.
Wait for it.
Confidence, man.
Wait for it. They still don't have the offensive line that they
when I was watching the
defensive player.
When I was watching the game, I said, "Oh my God, all they need is an offensive line and some defensive players, and this is the perfect draft to get these things."
Yep.
So the Bengals are going to make hard noise next year. I'm with Eric. They were like a year too early.
Mm-hmm.
Next year, though, listen. It's no disrespect to the Ravens, but we don't know how the Ravens now. When healthy, we know the Ravens can contend and all that stuff. But there's another step Lamar has to take, and there's still more pieces that the Ravens need to put around Lamar to really exercise his entire repertoire. And the Browns, we don't know what the Browns are going to do. And the Steelers, they're going to be in the wasteland looking for a quarterback. The Bengals,
there's a definite power shift in that.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And the thing about it is, though, they beat Kansas City, like y'all said, and they're a year early. They're going to be very confident next year. It's their time.
It's their time. When we thought it was going to be the Ravens and the Browns for that division, no, it's the Bengals. It is the Bengals with Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow, I mean, you see it in the post-game conferences. It's so much, it's like a humble brag. It's like humble swagger. Like, he's like, I ain't going to talk too much trash, but I know I'm the stuff. I know.
Yeah.
I know I got it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I loved it. It was classic when the one against after the Ravens game. And they were saying how the defensive coordinator said, we're not going to put a gold jacket on Joe Burrow or whatever. And in the post game, they were like, is that why you try to make sure that you threw for 525? And he was like, maybe. I'm like, dude, that's what you want. You want that guy to be cold blooded like that. It's kind of like, oh, you want to talk about me? Okay.
All the greats are.
They're all
Aaron
like that.
Rodgers, savage.
They're all
Tom Brady,
that way.
savage.
They're all that way.
Younger, savage, man. You gotta be that way.
Hey, look. Even basketball is like that. Jordan and Kobe were like that.
They're all like that. They're all when you see great players, they just wired like that. I remember seeing if you haven't watched it, for all those that are watching, if you haven't watched it, the Man in the Arena, the Tom Brady Patriots thing, it's fantastic. It's great. If you haven't watched it, check it out. Hulu, all that stuff. Check it out. But I remember Tom Brady, they were asking, like, why hasn't he thought of retiring or whatever? And he said he was like, well, I thought about it, but then I thought I was going to sit on my couch and I was going to watch these games and I'm going to be like, man, these guys suck. I could play better than all the like. That's the mentality that they got. You know what I'm saying? Or when he was on the shop and he was just like that one team, which I really think it was the Raiders, but it was like that one team where they were just like,
I think so.
You're not gonna.
It wasn't the Raiders.
Yeah.
It was the Raiders. You know how I know? Because he said, y'all sticking with that MF? I call Jimmy Garoppolo an MF every week. I got a friend that's watching right now named Anthony Lewis. And if it rained tomorrow, it's Jimmy Garoppolo's fault. If he get a flat tire tomorrow, it's Jimmy Garoppolo's fault. I know that's what Tom Brady was talking about. That's what Tom Brady was talking about.
He was like, y'all sticking with that MF? I was like, yeah, that's the real Tom Brady. That's the little PC stuff y'all be seeing. No. You have to be like that
to be a legend.
Yeah, you got to be.
Kobe, Ron, Steph. I don't care if he's light skinned. He's mean.
He cold. He cold. He's a jerk. He's a jerk on the court.
You have to be. You have to be.
Yeah, you do.
To be successful in any sport.
Yeah, and Joe Burrow fits the billing. He fits the billing, man. And so, shout outs to the Bengals, man. I mean, like I said, offensive line. And just get some defensive pieces. I mean, the defensive unit is not bad. You just need some. You just need a couple studs. Like that's it. You ain't really get. You can find that in like the second, third round. Like
yes.
It's man. That's
if you're not a draft, you can find players throughout the draft. Even round 5, you can find somebody.
I want to make sure because I appreciate all these guys commenting and chatting with us. So Baloo said Ravens need an offensive line, and Lamar has to be more consistent with his decision making, which I agree. I think Lamar keeps trying to play Superman, and I feel like he feels like he has to, and that's what's making him.
Well, what decision making? No one's getting open except for Mark Andrews on a linebacker or safety who made a bad read, or if a play breaks down and Hollywood runs free. No one's getting open like that in Baltimore. And Rick Roman isn't creative enough to craft up offensive plays to work for who he has.
Yeah.
And let's be real, Baltimore does not have a good history of drafting receivers.
No.
I mean,
all their good receivers were free agents.
Exactly.
All of them. Derek Mason, Steve Smith, Anquan Bolden. Yeah, they were all free agents. All free agents for sure. Let's move. Y'all, you gonna make Baloo cuss?
I missed that.
Said Willie Snead.
Oh.
Hey, listen, don't make Baloo cuss, man. Don't make him cuss. Don't make him cuss. Let's not Willie Snead. Let's talk about let's move forward and talk about oh wait. Baloo's talking. Let's listen. So Baloo said he disagrees. He said the receivers have been getting open this year, especially the last few games with Huntley. I don't know, Baloo. I hear you.
You know what? I may agree with him. Only because.
Go ahead.
Only because Huntley has to be somewhat pocket as well. Greg Roman's like Lamar, make one read, then bounce, and that's what he does. If you can't bounce, look for who's open, and it's usually Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is like fourth in receiving yards this year.
Yeah. So my brother Philip, appreciate you for watching, man. He said Lamar holds on to the ball. He needs to be in a West Coast offense. What you guys think about that?
Well, yeah, in that offense, in that style offense, Lamar Jackson would be a god. He really would. I think so. He would, because it's predicated off of quick reads and quick reads. and getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And my goodness, the extended handoff, basically. You allow your receivers to do the work.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that would help him a lot. But unfortunately, they got Greg Roman.
But the Ravens offensive line, it's like the Ravens offensive line is pro form, so it's like they're geared towards like a big run game.
Yeah, T.J. Watt gonna get Defensive Player of the Year courtesy of the Ravens once they play.
Oh, he is.
Because he's gonna get that record. He's gonna get that record against Villanueva.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead. Let's move forward. Hey man, listen. Now, when you want to talk about Coach of the Year, I know there's a lot of candidates, man. But man, we got to talk about this dude in Philadelphia. Nick Sirianni and them boys over there in Philly. I mean, they say fly. Listen, Steve. They clinched a playoff spot, Steve.
Here we go.
Coach of the Year don't lose by 40 points.
Listen, I understand. But they clinched a playoff spot, Steve.
That's fine. Coach of the Year?
No one expected the Eagles to do anything. Nothing. And I mean, it was laid into the abyss. They were like, you blow the whole thing up. You know all the drama that came with it. They not sure Jalen Hurts is the guy. All this stuff. I mean,
and he still isn't the guy.
Listen.
Great improvement.
I agree.
Hey,
Coach of the Year?
I agree that Jalen Hurts is not the guy. I think he's improved, but he's better. But I feel like he gonna crash into that ceiling after a while.
Now let me ask this question. I'm playing devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
What do y'all see that's missing from Jalen Hurts' game that could not be improved, that could not be masked once they get more pieces? Because they got a whole bunch of draft capital that they can use to really build this team. So what do you think is missing that could not be masked or improved?
So they don't. And I was sitting with the Eagles fan in Baltimore on my trip here, and because the Raiders want some, and whoever else was in that trade thing, they lost those compensatory picks because those two teams are playoff teams now. So they don't have as much first-round picks as they were going to have. But Hurts is good. It's really the weapons around him. Like you said, it's the weapons around him.
So that's what I'm saying. So they have the draft capital.
They don't draft well.
I mean, but this ain't.
You got a point.
It's the same GM. It's the same GM. So I get all that. I get all that.
Doesn't draft well. Nope.
But what if it's just like a non? What if it's like hard to miss? Because when I look at the Eagles roster, right, you got to answer the offensive line. They're way long in the tooth.
Yes,
you got to fix your defense.
And defense.
Okay, and then you probably need another weapon to go alongside Devontae
Smith.
You need another weapon. So with the draft capital that they have, is that not possible for them to be able to get all this?
Because they don't draft well.
It's always been possible.
Okay.
I'm saying, hey man,
I'm just saying.
Sometimes. Look, I'm gonna tell you a quick little anecdote about that. Okay. I went hunting with my cousin one time, and he was sitting in a nice box blind and everything, and I'm in a box blind maybe about 300-400 yards away from him. Right, big old 8-point buck comes out. Right, and he steps behind the bushes close to where my cousin's blind is. I said, "Oh well, he gonna get him," and the buck is rubbing against the blind that he's in. He never sees the deer. Why? He's asleep. He could have threw a rock and hit that deer in the head. Okay?
Right.
Get it right.
Right.
So I said all that to say this. The Eagles do not draft well. It could be a no-brainer.
It's not even drafting.
And they will screw it up.
It's not even drafting. And I only have one Eagles fan, and that's James Barry. Everyone knows. They don't know what they're talking about. But how do you win a Super Bowl for quarterback, and then not just win like one game, like go through week 14 to 15 through the playoff Super Bowl, you win it. The next year you bench him, then you trade him. That shows the level of competency that Howie Roseman has. Nobody does that.
I hear you.
Who would do
I hear you. So really quick for you guys, because I knew I'd be alone on this hill, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. I'm cool. I can stand on my own 2 feet. I'm a big boy. Who do you guys feel? Who do you guys feel would be accurate for Coach of the Year this year? Y'all go one at a time. We'll start with you, Steve. We'll just go in order. Steve, who do you think will be who's Coach of the Year over Nick Sirianni right now? Because he's in the consideration for sure.
You know what? You're gonna ask me next week when the season's tied up, and we'll see who
finishes out.
Yeah,
okay.
I can't answer right now.
Okay, Brandon.
It would not be Nick Sirianni.
Okay, Brandon.
I'm trying to roll through these standings real quick. I'm trying to see. You know what?
And think of the teams. Think of the situations. Think of what.
I know. I got you. I got you.
You got one, Eric? Okay.
Oh yeah, Sean Payton.
That would be a good one. That would be a good one. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Freaking tight end playing quarterback.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
For the playoffs.
Yeah, man, he got everybody playing quarterback. Everybody playing quarterback.
Okay. Okay.
Listen, hold on.
I give you that.
Eric, to your point, hold on. Maybe a month ago,
Baloo said Mike Vrabel.
Listen.
Okay.
No. Because they were good last year. Ian Book, the 1 week they had like 8 coaches out, Ian Book was making substitutions for the team on the sideline.
Yeah, he was.
In New Orleans. So I hear that, Eric.
You can ride with that? You can ride with that?
I could ride with that, yes.
They got a freaking tight end
playing quarterback.
He's a football player, man. That's what they do. They play everything.
Hey, man.
I know what type of football player he not. A quarterback.
Okay.
I don't care. They can fight me on the Who That Nation. Y'all can fight me on that. And
you wild, Eric.
No, I'm telling the truth. That boy ain't no damn quarterback. Come on, water. I'm shooting. I'm
Hold on. I gotta answer, Brandon. And I'm waiting for your answer, Brandon. But Baloo, listen, because Baloo's saying he quietly got the Titans at the number 1 seed. Baloo, look at the division, Baloo. Look at the division, Baloo.
To be honest,
Baloo. What's wrong?
Don't get Eric started, man.
Hold on. Eric, stay right there. Do it again. Give him the close up again, Eric.
Stop it right now.
You know what, Tristan?
Yeah. Listen. Baloo.
Should not hand out awards until the end of the season.
Baloo, I know you trolling because listen, look at the division. First of all, the disaster over there in Jacksonville. If there was ever a time I needed a player to demand to be traded, it's Trevor Lawrence. It's just, good Lord, man, just find a way. Well, you know what I saw today. They said that the fans of Jacksonville plan to come to the stadium for the last game in clown suits just to show the owner how they felt about the season. I hope they do it. I really do. I would love to see it. I really do. Baloo said that Baloo, this is a family-friendly show. Baloo, I cannot put your comment online. But Baloo said that Brady used to have, basically said he had a trash division when he was in the AFC East, basically. So he says, why can't you compare that with the Titans in their division, with them being trashy? I wouldn't do that. Mike Vrabel is not in that conversation. Brandon, give me your guy. You didn't give me your guy.
Okay, you know what? We just finished talking about him, Zach Taylor. This is a 3rd-year coach with a young nucleus.
Okay,
they won the AFC North. I mean, be honest with yourself. Did you have Cincinnati winning the division this year?
No, I had the Ravens.
No, exactly. So my thing is, I mean, we can sit here and talk about you know, Sean McDermott in Buffalo, but we know how good Buffalo is, okay? We know how good, let's see, Andy Reid is in Kansas City. We know how good Matt LaFleur is in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. We know how good Bruce Arians is with Tampa Bay, okay? No one was expecting Cincinnati to win the division. They won the division, and what does Z stand for? Oh, Clinch Division. Okay, never mind. But yeah, so yes, Zach Taylor's Cincinnati Bengals. That's my pick.
Yep. Okay. That you know what? That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Argument could be made for Flores down in Miami.
An argument could be made for Flores, despite Tua playing the way he's played, for sure. Let's go ahead and move forward to let's move forward to Eric's favorite team, the San Francisco 49ers. Eric, you matter of fact, I'm gonna just give you a single screen. You just go ahead.
Hey man, look.
Me and Brandon will come in when you ready. Okay, which you have the floor, sir.
So we started Trey Lance because Jimmy Garoppolo had a thumb, and Kyle Shanahan was trying everything in his power to try to basically start Jimmy Garoppolo. Cause why? Kyle Shanahan does not want Trey Lance to be his quarterback. I promise you, you put your 10 hands on. I don't care, because John Lynch pulled rank and said, no, if we giving up 3 first-round draft picks, we getting a guy who may not be ready just yet, but it's got a higher ceiling than all of the other quarterbacks in this draft. That's going to be picked going to be picked from 3 on down.
Right.
So Trey Lance comes in. He looked a little rough in the first half. He looked a little bit timid. And something happened at halftime, and he just became Trey Lance. Now, did he have a perfect game? Absolutely not. But when you don't get playing time, like there's a lot of games where the Niners, they were ahead, and it was fourth quarter, and Trey Lance could have got some reps, but no, they kept Jimmy in the game.
Let me know when you want me to put up the video by you, so you can.
You put it up right now. Trey to Debo. Yeah, because that was look at that. Jimmy Garoppolo would have hit somebody in the stands with that ball. I'm just saying, Jimmy Garoppolo would have hit that referee that was just short of Debo. Run it back. You will see a referee coming across. He would have hit that referee in the face instead of hitting Debo. Look at that ref. Yeah. Trey Lance is not ready for prime time just yet, but the future is bright. I'm loving where this team is going to be once he gets his feet underneath it. He is clearly a physically more gifted quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo.
No doubt.
Jimmy Garoppolo, he knows the offense better. Jimmy Garoppolo a lot of times makes the right reads. Anthony, if you're watching, don't get mad, because Anthony will probably be in the comments cussing. It's one of my fellow points. He hates Jimmy Garoppolo.
I got you. Okay.
Jimmy Garoppolo lacks the natural ability to make a lot of the throws that thank you, Ann. to make the throws that you need to make in this offense. And that's why I always pick us to lose, because Kyle Shanahan always wants to defer and lean on Jimmy Garoppolo like he's Joe Burrow, like he's Tom Brady, like he's Aaron Rodgers. He's not that guy. But with a guy like Trey Lance moving forward, because we're gonna lose this weekend, but move and be out of the playoffs. But moving forward into next year, I'm really pleased about the future. Because man, if he gets all the first team reps and gets acclimated to that offense, he's a very smart kid. He called his own protections back at North Dakota State. He made his own audibles. In fact, in this game this past week against the Texans, he made some audibles and changed out some stuff. And I was like, okay, I see you, boy. He's not ready. He's not ready to take us into the playoffs and make hay. But that being said, he's going to be a problem in the future because he's already got the weapons. You got an all-pro tight end. You got a Pro Bowl wide receiver. If Deebo Samuel had not made the Pro Bowl, y'all had to put some money on my books. I'd have set fire or something. But That's a football player. Y'all want to talk about Taysom Hill's a football player? Debo Samuel, a football player.
That he's a football player.
What's your position, Debo? Football.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think if they put Debo at safety, which hell they might have to this weekend. If they put Debo at safety, he might get a pick. Okay? That's just how great he is. But it's just too much upheaval in San Francisco, and they got to rein in Kyle Shanahan. Like, look, this is the future right here, man.
Yeah.
And the future's bright if you do the right things. Because all we need a better right tackle, and we damn sure need some corners. Because, oh, my God. That's the second reason why I feel like we're not going far in the playoffs. So if we make the play, we may not make the playoffs. We might be through Sunday evening. So, because the cornerback position is highly dubious at best, and then this COVID thing that just hit us, we lost our free safety. He may have a chance to get back before the game, but if he doesn't, I just need you to understand, Jimmy Ward was responsible for 2 interceptions of Matt Stafford the last time they met. We embarrassed the hell out of the Rams, and Jimmy Ward was a big part of it, and he's got COVID. So, yeah. And also he erases a lot of the mistakes that the corners make. If he's not there, it's a problem. So, but I like the future. It's a young team. When Kyle Shanahan actually has a proctologist on staff to remove his head from his rectum, he's one of the best play callers in the league. But that, we got to have that proctologist on the sideline. And if we do, we can win a lot of games. So my prediction is we'll finish 9-8 and we'll miss the playoffs, and it'll probably be the Saints getting in because their defense is ferocious. And I'll talk more about that on my picks.
That's all that I was hearing from Eric. That's all that I was hearing from Eric. The entire time.
I'm licensed to carry. Yeah, I'm licensed to carry. I'm a good shot.
That's all. Every time he talks about Kyle Shanahan, that's all I'm getting.
just know that they're non-lethal rounds because I have a love-hate relationship with Kyle Shanahan because I see him for what he could be, but I hate him for what he does.
Okay.
He's a wayward child, in my opinion.
Okay.
Yep.
Brandon, you wanna add to that, Brandon?
Man, it's hard to add to that, man.
Listen.
It's hard. It's hard. I mean, my goodness. This man knows the 49ers better than the 49ers know themselves.
Better than the 49ers know themselves. You hear me?
Look. Somebody need to call John Lynch and have John Lynch call Eric and say, look, I need you to be my assistant general manager.
Just go out for some drinks and just let Eric talk.
Just let him talk. Yes.
I don't need another drink. Just let me stand on the sideline next to Kyle. You about to call what? Pick up the play card. Pick it up. The running back averaging 5 yards to carry. Why you want to call that last play? We got the lead in the ball. Run the damn ball. But don't make me come over here again.
And I can see Eric will be all over the news.
Listen.
Look. He'll be all over the news, all in the newspaper. He'd be on TMZ. He'd be on World Star Hip Hop.
Yes.
He'd be on all them platforms.
Yes. Never change, Eric. Never change.
Matter of fact, my prediction is if Eric was to do that, Kyle Shanahan will end up crying one day and just end up retiring from football permanently.
Yeah.
You gonna squirt something? Well, listen, Stone Cold Steve Austin don't give a damn. You're gonna call the right plays. You're gonna run the ball. We're gonna win this game. We're gonna go to playoffs, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so.
Eric 316.
If I ever get a chance to link up with a 49ers person, Eric is the first person I'm calling. I'm like, y'all need to talk to this man. Y'all need to talk to this man, okay? He'll get you right.
First and foremost.
He'll get you right. Let's go ahead and go to Eric's picks for week 18, the final week of the regular season. And then after that, I'm just gonna say my little soliloquy in regards to the Steelers and Browns, and then we'll wrap this thing up.
All right, so here we go. Week 18 pick'ems. Give me the Chiefs over the Broncos because after getting beat like as bad as they got beat, the Chiefs did, they're going to take out they're going to rain thunderbolts from Mount Olympus like Zeus on the Broncos. it's probably not gonna be pretty. Give me the girls over the Eagles. Let me tell you something. Y'all lose to the Eagles, man. Steve left already. Brandon, Steve, don't come on the show next week. Y'all lose to the Eagles, don't come on the show next week. Because you got to queue up the gunshots. Because I'm throwing shots. There's no way that Dallas should lose to the doggone Eagles next week. I'm sorry. Y'all better win that game. All right. Give me the football team over the Giants because ain't Mike Glennon still starting?
Mike Glennon might not even start. He hurt his finger or something.
Well, if it's not Mike Glennon, it's Jake Fromm, so it doesn't matter.
It don't matter.
It don't matter. Hey, Eric, I might as well be quarterback.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly.
Brandon, if you go in, then the Giants got a shot. that's about all it's going to be. Because I think Washington. Because after they got through fighting each other, they ready to punch somebody else in the mouth. So it's going to be the Giants. The Giants might as well go ahead and get some gauze and some bandages because they about to get punched in the mouth. Now, the Steelers and Ravens, that's my pick'em game. And it's contingent upon Lamar Jackson playing. Okay? That could go either way. It's an emotional game for the Steelers. It's Big Ben's last game as a Steeler. He might pull a rabbit out of hat. But if Lamar plays, all bets are off because they still both scrapping for a playoff position. So it's going to be a good game. And I'm going to say it like this, and I've said it a million times. Steelers versus Ravens, I don't care who playing, it's always a slobber knocker. So always be a heavyweight fight. So I'm going to watch that game even though I have no rooting interest at all. I don't have a dog in the fight, but I like watching the fight.
It'd be like George Foreman versus Ali.
Yeah.
I like to see records get broken. So I want to see if TJ Watt gets the record.
And he probably will. When he's like a sack away.
Yeah.
He gonna get that. He gonna get that because Lamar gonna do one of these the wrong way and TJ gonna catch him. So that's if Lamar plays. Give me the Pack over the Lions. The Lions are scrappy, but the Packers on a roll right now. And what's really frightening me the most about the Packers is Aaron Rodgers is starting to develop chemistry with these other receivers.
Right.
Him and Devontae, they can finish each other's sentences, but Lazard, Equinemius St. Brown, Valdez Scanlon, he's starting to get some chemistry with those guys. And my God, watch out. Watch out. So, they're not going to be able to cover all them dudes. Seriously. So, Packers over the line. So, that might be the I like you and I want you game. It might be. For real. The Lions might be Chris Hansen coming in there and Fleece Johnson sitting at the bar talking about we can do this the easy way or the hard way. And the Lions gonna be like, we're not doing anything any kind of. Oh, okay, I see you want to do things the hard way. Okay, so and by the way, Aaron Rodgers still got a broken toe, still doing all this.
26 touchdowns and 0 interceptions since he talked about that toe.
And guess what? Eli Manning doesn't believe him anymore.
Exactly.
Right. I don't believe it either. So give me the Colts over the Jags because
hey.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Next.
Give me the Vikings over the Bears. Is Cousins playing?
Well, remember he's unvaccinated, so it's a little different for him. So I don't know. I think he has to clear.
Okay. I still like the Vikings over the Bears.
Yep, I do too.
Even without Cousins, because Mannion's not bad.
Right.
Give me the Titans over the Texans. Now, let me tell you something about the Texans. Texas fans that are watching right now, leave Davis Mills alone. Stop talking about you need a quarterback. You have one.
I wanted Davis Mills.
He's not flashy like Deshaun was, but
I wanted Davis Mills.
Davis Mills. That's your quarterback of the future.
Yeah.
And you need to keep. And I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks on the show. You need to keep Pep Hamilton as your quarterbacks coach with Davis Mills.
For sure. For sure.
They got a little something going there. So but the Titans gonna win it. They gonna win it. I believe King Henry is coming back, and somebody finna get their face ran through it out the back of their head. So. Yeah, it's gonna be like a 357 Magnum round hitting somebody point blank. Because if King Henry plays, you're gonna see jerseys flying all over the field, and it ain't gonna be his.
He gonna come possessed for sure.
Right.
And guess what? The thing about it is, he's fresh. He hasn't played. He doesn't have a lot of mileage on him.
Yes. So give me the Saints over the Falcons because the Falcons are a wild, untamed trash.
Yep.
And even though I need the Falcons to win this game because if the 49ers lose and the Saints lose, the 49ers still get in. But the Falcons are going to let me down like they let their fans down in Georgia every freaking year. Okay, that's what the Falcons do. Okay, they like wet toilet paper. It ain't going to hold nothing.
Not
it
wet
ain't gonna
toilet
clean
paper.
It's just plap. You know how you wet some toilet paper and just throw it against the wall? It's just going to stick. It ain't going to do nothing. That's the Falcons. When you need them the most to do what they need to do, they not going to do nothing for you.
Oh, man.
And the Saints defense is ferocious. Now,
Yeah.
they got a freaking tight end playing quarterback, but that defense is ferocious.
For sure.
And if Taysom Hill can get them like 9 points, 3 field goals, they can win that game. That's how they've been winning, because that defense is ferocious. It's underrated. People are not paying attention to the Saints defense. They are good. Okay? Give me the Cards over the Seahawks, because I feel like they just going to mail it in. They're not at home. The 12s can't help them. The Cardinals got something to play for. They're playing for the NFC West title.
Yep.
So it might be worse than that Dallas game. It might be, because I don't think the Seahawks. Well, Russell Wilson, he'll throw a couple of late ones, but I still like the Cards in that one. Give me the Bills over the Jets. The Jets really impressed me. That's another team that's going to be all right in a couple of years. Because
they keep drafting well.
They really impressed me what they did against Tampa Bay. I mean,
did.
And I'm watching it the whole time going, they finna lose this game. They finna lose. They was up like 20-something. Well, how was it? Like 24-0 or something like that. And I'm still going, Jets about to lose this game.
Yep.
Brady's sitting up there on the sideline looking like Anakin Skywalker right before he killed them kids.
Yep.
Oh, he's like, he had that evil Sith Lord look in his eyes. I said, Lord, Darth Brady finna come out here. And sure enough, there it is.
Yep.
So, but the Jets are on their way, but the Bills about to whoop them. Give me the Bucks over the Panthers because Darth Brady. And then give me the Pats over the Dolphins, but it's gonna be a good one.
Yep.
It's gonna be a squeaky. The Dolphins it's gonna be a good game to watch.
Yep. I agree.
Give me the Rams over my Niners. And it's a damn shame because we're a better team than them.
When healthy.
We're a better team than the Rams. We have beaten these jokers 5 times in a row.
When healthy.
In a row. Okay? In a row, we have beaten them 5 times in a row. But they about to break the streak this week because we got a rookie quarterback that's starting. They're gonna throw the house at him. And then we got our safeties out, and our corners have never been good since Jason Verrett went down. What you got, Brandon?
I am hearing that your favorite quarterback might end up starting.
I'm hearing the same thing too.
Yeah,
But you really want to see it? They really inviting disaster to the doorstep because if his thumb is still messed up and they still trying to start him out, come on, man. Jimmy Garoppolo ain't accurate when he healthy.
I understand. I'm just telling you what I heard.
Ramsey about to make Defensive Player of the Year in one game. If they do that.
Yeah.
Go with the rookie and run the hell out the ball, and you might have a shot. You might. But I agree. They salty as hell after what we did to them early this year and also what we done to them for the last 4 games. We were trash in 2000 and beat them twice. So, yeah. But I still like them to win that game because they playing for the division title. We playing for our lives, but they playing for the division title, and they at home. So now the upside is we play better on the road than we do at home. So maybe. I don't know, but we'll see. Give me the Raiders over the Chargers. They inspired by John Madden. The Chargers, I don't know who they are yet. They have not found their identity yet.
Inconsistent.
They're inconsistent. Once they find that identity, they're going to be a problem too. But I really like that doggone Hunter Renfro. He 100-0. He runs a 5-0 in the 40.
He was another one that I wanted. I watched Clemson heavily.
But that joker will catch the ball and get you first down.
Yes.
He only got drafted where he got drafted because he didn't look like the prototypical receiver. You look at Deshaun Watson's games. You look at Trevor Lawrence freshman year. Hunter Renfro was everything for them.
He won Clemson a national title.
He was everything for them.
He won them a national. No, I mean he literally caught the winning touchdown.
Yes.
He's a hero.
Yes.
You that song by the Foo Fighters, "There Goes My Hero."
It's Hunter Renfro.
Okay, so like he finds a way to get open. He finds a way to catch the ball. And he makes stuff happen. I like the Raiders. Okay, I ain't even talking about Derek Carr. I'm just talking about Hunter Renfro. He's my favorite Raider. But yeah, those are my picks for the week. I was 9-7 last week. I was wrong. Fortunately, I picked against my team and they won. So I'm gonna stick with that trim. I'm gonna pick against them. So hopefully, maybe some mojo working and we'll win. But
there you go. There you go. Those are good picks. So he was 9-7 last week. We're gonna see last week of the regular season. We are here, and then the big boys play.
And I'm dogging everybody out. If my team don't make the playoffs, and we come on here talking about playoffs, I'm talking about everybody chinking their arm because I don't care no more because my team is out.
Oh, but we're gonna talk about playoffs, okay? Like we said, football don't stop when it comes to this podcast. Football does not stop. So we're definitely going to talk about playoffs. So wrapping this up, I'm going to give my little soliloquy in regards to last night's game. I'm not really talking about the game because the game was what it was. I'm not talking about the game. I, being a football purist, and just like you guys are football purists, those are watching that are football purists. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I believe. I like to say that's immature of you. So here's what I believe in regards to when it comes to seeing all-time great players go out. I understand the conversation that we had about Big Ben Roethlisberger. We talked about it all year. We said the Steelers were probably 2 years too late as far as trying to find the right successor after Ben. They kept bringing him back and all of this stuff. So I understand that concept. But last night, seeing Big Ben Roethlisberger come out to Heinz Field, hearing the crowd, seeing all the signs, him being able to take the knee, the victory kneel to seal the game. These are moments that I want us to really appreciate with some of these guys that are retiring, because what people got to understand is that our age bracket, these guys that we looked at as like giants, as kids, we were watching these guys win Super Bowls, get passing records and things like that. For anything that you want to say about Big Ben Roethlisberger, we know he had his transgressions, or especially early on in his career. We understand all that. Here's the thing with Big Ben. Can you really think of a quality quarterback before him and after Terry Bradshaw? There's a gap where the Steelers, you got your Cordell Stewarts, you got your Tony Maddox, you had a few guys sprinkled, but when we talk about like all-time great quarterback play for the Steelers, understand about this franchise, they only had 3 head coaches in their entire existence.
They stay loyal to their coaches.
You know what I'm saying? And then the quarterbacks, the 2 quarterbacks that you speak on is Big Ben Roethlisberger and Terry Bradshaw. And for 18 years, basically, we watched Big Ben Roethlisberger play this backyard, coming from a guy that was playing backyard football. You couldn't knock him down. He's just trying to, move around and try to make something happen and all that stuff, to a guy at one point that was almost as cerebral as Tom Brady when it came to throwing that football. It was, especially when the killer bees were there, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, all the cats, when everybody was there. He was launching them.
Yep.
I want us to really take a moment and appreciate what Big Ben Roethlisberger has done, what he's done for his career. He is definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer without any question. And I honestly believe that the Steelers are really going to hurt, at least for the near future, because there's no succession plan in place. And I also want to give a shout out. Say that one more time.
Before you go, just remember, Aaron Rodgers is a free agent.
Oh no, I know, and I've seen some of the rumors.
Next week, tune in next week.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that, and also I want to give a shout out. Thank you, Cleveland. Shout out to you for being on here. I want to make sure that we acknowledge Mike Tomlin. 15 years with no losing record in a time where we are banging the table for diversity, for equal opportunity, for minority coaches, really for black head coaches. You got a guy won a Super Bowl, been to another Super Bowl, always in playoff talks, always had a winning record, 15 seasons with all the stuff, all the nonsense, the foolishness that was going on. He always kept that ship going. And
he's a class act.
Class act. Everybody that's played for him, they play for him all over again. They've run through a wall for that man.
Yep.
Give the credit to Big Ben. Give the credit to Mike Tomlin for what they've done. I'm hoping, I'm praying that Ben does not try to look for another team. Ben, you did it. You did your swan song. Go out, retire, enjoy your family. You don't have anything to prove. That jacket is waiting for you. There's nothing for you to prove at all. Two-time Super Bowl champ, you have nothing to prove. Nothing to prove. So kudos to Big Ben Roethlisberger. Steeler Nation, I don't. Even Joy Taylor is a Steelers fan. She was even saying she doesn't know what's going to take place. She even said it as far as the quarterback position. So good luck, Steeler Nation. Good luck.
I have an idea, but we can table that for the next
We'll table it for next week. We'll save it for next week. Next week we're going to talk about that. Next week I think we wanted to go over a little bit about the Pro Bowl, start about the playoffs, talk about a little bit about the Hall of Fame. So for all those, please tune in next week, same time next week, so we can talk about it. Brandon, go ahead. I know you had something to say.
We should also talk about some head coaches that probably fired between Sunday night and Monday during the day.
For sure. So we'll go over all of that next week. If you guys got any questions, please feel free to message us. Follow us on Instagram. Just a Fan Podcast is on Instagram. Feel free to follow us. We will respond to you. Okay. So that's Just a Fan Podcast. Those that are watching live, if you got a friend, an auntie, a cousin, an uncle, whatever, if they did not watch this live, tomorrow this will be up on YouTube. Just a Fan Podcast. Just type and search Just a Fan Podcast on YouTube. This will be up by, I would say, like tomorrow afternoon. So please subscribe, share, and subscribe.
Yes.
Okay? Be sure to do that. Also,
and hit the like button.
Thank you, Brandon. And hit the like button. Also, wherever you listen to your podcasts, it does not matter where. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, wherever you listen to your podcasts, just type in Just a Fan Podcast. You'll also catch us here. So just in case you can't sit and listen to us on YouTube or watch us, if you're in your car on the way to work or whatever, just listen to the podcast on your way to work, at your desk, whatever you're doing. Just listen to us there. You'll get all of the same content. Okay? So excited about next week. Last week of the regular season. We're jumping into the playoffs. We're on the road to the Super Bowl. So let's get ready, gentlemen, because this is when it gets interesting. This is separating the men from the boys. Separating the men from the boys. So I'm Tristan, the guy with the big mouth. That's the encyclopedia. Brandon, Mr. Pandemonium, Mr. Chaos himself, Eric.
Pandemonium. His message.
Mr. Pandemonium himself, and our boy, the man, myth, and legend, Steve White. He had to leave a little early. Shout out to you, bro. We'll see y'all next week, man. We'll holla at y'all.